On the Metro, culture and arts take center stage.
I want this emotion behind it. I want this tone and whatever. So the whole thing that you're crafting.
When you go to a show, that's when you realize you're not alone, that you're suddenly with all these people that you resonate with, that you relate to.
It can be a real grassroots presentation. There's a long history within Detroit.
This is the Metro on WDET-FM. I'm Tia Graham. Now, dance is typically understood as a physical art form, a nonverbal expression of creativity, emotions, and narratives. And dance is often a cultural pillar that brings communities together under shared goals to create and to perform. Ajara Alghali is a cultural organizer and connector who believes these things to be true as well. She believes dance can be so much more. It can be a tool for transformation and equity and a connection between ritual and our shared environment. With these principles in mind, she co-founded the TéMaTé Institute for Black Dance and Culture in 2018. And each year, the Institute hosts a dance convening that demonstrates that vision through workshops and performances from experts who span the entire African diaspora. This year's event takes place October 18th and October 19th at the Andy Art Center and the Detroit School of Arts. Ajara Alghali joins me now to discuss the immersive journey into the connection between ritual, dance, and equity. Ajara, welcome to the Metro.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I love your sunglasses. But Ajara, you are a first-generation American on your father's side. He immigrated here from Sierra Leone. And given the mission of your organization, what influence does that particular history have on the work that you do?
Oh, wow. Well, that is a really great question. Thank you for asking. It really is like the pillar of my work. Like, it allows me to see all of us, but particularly Black people, as one, as unified, like a foundation, like roots of a tree, and we all branch out. And so being that he immigrated here from Sierra Leone, worked at Ford Motor Company, that is Detroit, right? That is ingrained in me. So just as much as I am a Sierra Leonean by carrying like 2 passports, but I'm also proud to be a native Detroiter.
And once again, this having that particular perspective from your father of understanding that we are all connected, that's not necessarily something that we are actively taught or actively talk about throughout the neighborhoods of the city, but that's something that you grew up with, understanding that we're all connected through this great thing of life that we call life here. But just talk about what that experience actually did to you going forward in life, having that perspective.
It grounded me, it rooted me into something that like Blackness is more than just the color of our skin, but it is also how we link music, dance. My dad had a nightclub growing up called Sierra Afrique. And so he DJ'd and I was there to be able to experience all of that music, the Congolese soukous, the zouk from the Caribbean. And so that allowed me to see, while, you know, all of the fundamentals, the foundations are the same, right? We are beautifully different. And I love being able to express that. And so that comes out in the way I carry myself throughout the world too. You know, I identify myself first as Black, then as Black American, African American, and then lastly Sierra Leonean, because also the countries that we now call Sierra Leone or even the United States are just made up. And so like I ground myself in the connections that I have with people throughout the diaspora.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm just thinking about your time in dance and your experience with dance. When was the first time that you had an experience with dance that let you understand and know that it's bigger than me just moving my body?
Well, let my parents tell it. I was dancing before I could walk. So they have stories of people coming to the house to see me bounce before, you know, in my diapers. But dance for me has been like making dance routines for the middle school dances, right? You know, my friends would get together in a corner and say, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And so that has been part of me for so long. But I remember at my dad's nightclub dancing with him, you know, people will always say, why are these kids in this nightclub? I'm like, just mind your business.
Pipe down, please.
Pipe down.
And we're going to be dancing in his club right now. I love that so very much because I hear that oftentimes, especially when people are growing up with parents who have nightclubs or bars. It's like, yeah, they used to see me in the bar working or doing something. Like, what are you doing here? I'm doing my job.
That's my job. My job is to entertain. What do you want? You need a pop?
Exactly. I'll dance over to get the pop. But I find it so fascinating that dance has been a part of you since, like you said, diapers. Your vision of dance shifted after your time as a Fulbright fellow in West Africa, which is amazing. What did you experience on that trip, and what did you need to bring back with you to the States after you experienced it?
So that trip came about when I received the Kresge Art in Detroit Fellowship. And then so the ex-director had said to me, why do you separate your professional and artistic life? And that was the first time someone ever asked me that. So she was essentially asking me, why are you thinking dance is just part of this hobby? It could definitely be a part of your life. And so, like, fast forward, I was thinking about a research question, like, oh, okay, I gotta figure this out. And the research question was decolonizing urban planning, how dance is the tool to do that. And so when you think about culture of the global South, because I'm speaking about indigenous culture here in the Americas or any place in Southeast Asia, dance and how we connect to one another is the community builder, is the original urban planning method. It's how you are able to disseminate information. The communal space is how you design the places that you lived, right? And movement is how we go about in our daily lives. So being able to research that and be able to understand that, hey, you know, we're not just dancing for the sake of dancing. We're dancing as a way of life.
And as well, you talk about how dance equals social justice and equity. For folks who, once again, don't see how creative expression or creative outlets could be something that is that could be equitable or something that can grow equitable relationships and connections within a community, how does dance do that?
It is your body remembering. And so when you think of choreography or, you know, things that you remember, and it's like, oh, when it just comes innately. Or sometimes I might forget about a choreography and I'll hear the music and my body just naturally goes to that position. That's what it is. You know, it's about when we look at videos and we say, oh, that's the same thing that I did when I was little, or hand clap games, you know, as young girls would play hand clap games. I think the first experience it really clicked for me is when I was in Senegal and I saw some girls about the age of 11 doing a hand clap game that I remember when I was a kid, because I was the queen of the hand clap games. Okay. And so I said, no way. That's same.
That's an amazing thing to see. Like, it makes you wonder, how the heck did you guys even know? Like, how are we both doing this at the same time across the globe? And we're all having the same. So to sum this up, basically, dance is in those type of rhythms that we use our bodies with. Once we all kind of know them, we're all equal in terms of that knowledge base of what that dance may be or how it may make us feel or whatever it may be, which is an amazing way to think about dance. I do want to get into talking a little bit about what we are actually here to talk about, which is the event that's coming up very, very soon. Right now we are talking with Ajara Alghali, the co-founder and artistic director of TéMaTé Institute for Black Dance and Culture. The organization is hosting a convening of dance and culture on October 18th and October 19th. There will be workshops and performances led by instructors from across the diaspora. So let's talk about the organization, TéMaTé, and talk a little bit about the dances that you guys are highlighting in the convening.
Mm-hmm. So to even share, TéMaTé is a word from the Wobe language of the Ivory Coast that means the most beautiful. So it's the most beautiful institute for Black dance and culture. So I will say that. And so we highlight dances of the diaspora, just point blank. Again, however you define yourself in the African diaspora, we want to highlight that. So it will be Congolese classes from Biza Sampa, who is an instructor at U of M, bringing it local. We're going to have an instructor in Afro Trinidadian dance. We're going to have Afro beats, but we're also going to have those classes that people resonate or associate with West African dance, right? The Guinea dance styles. And so, to give a bit of history, why those dance styles are very much prominent is because during the time of independence and throughout Africa, countries created national ballets to export their culture throughout the world. And the first national ballet was the Guinea Ballet, the Ballet Africain, and that was in 1959. So that is why when you see, there's a West African dance class, it's generally Guinea style, Malian style, because of the fact that those countries made up a priority to showcase their culture and heritage in a celebration of decolonization. And so that style came out of the continent and it spread throughout the world. And those are the traditional steps that had been pulled out of the village and put on the world stage.
That is an amazing sight to even, it's an amazing thing to think about. Putting yourselves, especially like you said, during a time of just complete independence, where you're going to put yourself on the world's map, saying, "Hey, this is our creative and cultural exports, and this is what we stand on." And I love that so much. So, this particular year's convening is rhythms for life and legacy. Why the theme?
Honestly, it came to me while I was in Mali and just going, riding the motorcycles, going about daily life. And it was a Saturday afternoon, and a lot of people were out dancing, and I was like, what's going on? And my instructor who I was there with said, it's Saturday. Most people get married on Saturdays. So we are doing Maraca or Segundi, communally to celebrate everyone's wedding. And I said, wow, just the things that you do that you don't even think about, and I was like, I said, that's a ritual that you guys do every Saturday, in the city of Bamako. And that's how the theme came. And I said, I want to be able to showcase or let everyone know that rituals could be as tiny or minute as the way that you brush your teeth, because I have a definite distinctive way of how I brush my teeth. But it could also be how you prepare to get ready for the day. There is a dance called Twele that we will be performing. It is from the Bamana people of Mali, and it just signifies a time in a young woman's life where it's okay, I'm putting on my makeup, I'm doing this. Because I remember when I started going out with my friends, I would pack my bags, go to my friend's house, and we would get ready together. And so Twele translates into look at girl. And so it's just those little things that you might not think about, but it is how we move about in society.
It's a rhythm to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rhythm to it. We could talk all day. But literally we're down to the last 15 seconds. The final plug for those who are interested in going to the Institute or the convening of the Institute this next week it is. Let us know.
Yes, so October 18th and 19th, we're having dance classes for 2 days, starting from 10 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. at Andy Arts. So we have packages for those that just want to drop in, or packages for dancers that's like, pick me up off the floor. Yeah. I want every dance class. But the culminating event, it is October 18th at DSA, Detroit School of Arts, Rhythms of Life and Legacy. I am so happy.
Thank you so much. Ajara Alghali is the co-founder and artistic director for TéMaTé Institute for Black Dance and Culture. Thank you so much for joining us on the Metro today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. This is the Metro, a production of WDET, a listener-supported service of Wayne State University. And this is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. You all have a great day.